right, Matrixx and Rhodes Show supporters, so we're going to talk about late-night television again. And as you know, it seems like everybody outside of Greg Gutfeld has a big heavyweight championship version of Trump derangement syndrome, TDS. And, of course, maybe the worst offender, I guess, I don't know, is it Stephen Colbert or is it Jimmy Kimmel? How about one of them? How about they get in a cage fight? They can fight to the death. That'd be okay if they wanted. Get in there and have a throwdown over who has the bigger case of TDS. Well, of late, it seems like it's Jimmy Kimmel. He's always pissing and moaning. Of course, Trump royally embarrassed him during the Oscars. It was utterly hilarious. And literally, Trump baited him into, let me talk about this on the Oscars. And he did it. No, just reeled him right on in. So, Jimmy Kimmel is having a fit. Now, in case you do not realize this, the great majority of polling out there when it comes to the presidential 2024 election shows Trump beating Biden. All right? And what's more disturbing for Democrats and leftists and progressives like Jimmy Kimmel is he is beating him in battleground states. Michigan, right? Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, all these states, Trump has got the lead in. And that's got them worried. It's got Hollywood worried. It's got leftists worried. People that I see, Democratic pundits that I see on TV that are normally, oh, there's a way to figure this out and Biden will eventually come out the victor. That's what they were saying 6 months ago. Now they're not. And in fact, they're starting to concede this is getting very bad for Biden for a lot of different reasons. I mean, border, inflation, climate push. It's criminals running amok. Criminals you let into the country running amok. Outside of the criminals you allow to run amok that were already here. The transgender shit. All of this social crap. Transgender day of visibility. All this stuff that keeps getting worse. Never mind throwing the fact that he's decrepit and can barely walk without something happening. Never mind talking. So, here we go. The Gateway Pundit. Poor Jimmy Kimmel can't understand why Trump is polling better than Biden. It's so sweet to see these meltdowns. It really is. A new Wall Street Journal poll that was just published this week confirms this, that Trump is polling better in most swing states. Kimmel is just a typical Hollywood leftist with Trump derangement syndrome. He is consumed by his hatred of Trump that is blind to the reality that millions of other Americans can clearly see. And I've often said I still don't understand what Jimmy Kimmel's deal is. This guy has turned into one of the biggest betas we have ever seen. And again, him and Adam Carolla at one time hosted a show called The Man Show. And it was all like alpha male shit, complete with near-naked women bouncing around with their boobs showing. And now he's turned into a complete crybaby. And, of course, he's offended by everything, and he's offended by Trump. Trump hurts his sensibilities. Bless his heart. So, Kimmel is a little dazed and confused and somewhat perplexed by a poll revealed Donald Trump is leading Joe Biden in several crucial swing states ahead of the 2024 election, prompting him to ask, quote, how could this be? Kimmel revealed his inner turmoil in his monologue on Wednesday's episode. Trump's living rent-free in this douchebag's head. Claiming many ex-associates of former President Trump have spoken out against him, therefore concluding Trump, quote, doesn't even lead in a poll of people who worked for him. There's been a lot of traitorous snakes and bad hires that Trump made. There's no doubt about that. So, here it is right here. Let's just play a little clip of it.
But not only is he still the front runner, according to a new Wall Street Journal poll, Trump leads Biden in Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania, all important states, which just gives me a headache. How could this be? I mean, he doesn't even lead in a poll of people who worked for him. His own former vice president said, I cannot in good conscience endorse Donald Trump. Here's what you should be paying attention to. His longtime former lawyer, Michael Cohen, says Donald's an idiot. His former defense secretary, Mark Esper, said, I think he's unfit for office. His other former defense secretary said he's the first president in my lifetime who does not try to unite the American people. He tries to divide us. Former chief of staff John Kelly said Trump has nothing but contempt for our democratic institutions, our Constitution, and the rule of law. His former attorney general Bill Barr suggested Trump shouldn't be anywhere near the Oval Office. Former Secretary of State Rex Tillerson said his understanding of global and U.S. history is really limited. Can we get some music to speed this up? Because there are more. Former National Security Advisor said he showed the absence of leadership. Another former National Security Advisor said foreign leaders think he is a laughing fool. His former communications director called him the domestic terrorist of the 21st century. His former press secretary said, I'm terrified of him running in 2024. His former Homeland Security Advisor, an utter disgrace. Former White House aide, the most grave threat we will face to our democracy in our lifetime, potentially American history. And his former golf trip sex partner said he has a like the mushroom character in Mario Kart.
Okay, and to all the D-bags in the audience, they love that. I mean, you could not pay me, literally pay me to sit through that guy and go see him live. So he's talking to his audience and whoever's left watching his show, because his ratings are down about 60% versus about 8 years ago. Why? Because he completely has shit on one side of the country. Never mind this. You just reeled off a who's who of traitorous snakes that certainly do not have the interest of America first in mind. So, of course, they don't like Trump. Cassidy Hutchinson? Are you shitting me? She turned out to be the biggest scam ever in that J6 fiasco that was led by Liz Cheney. Stop it. So, these are the polls that this is reversing Biden's 2020 success in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Georgia, and Arizona. There you've got Pennsylvania, Trump, Nevada, Trump, Michigan, Trump, Nevada, North Carolina, Trump, Arizona, Trump, Wisconsin, dead even, Georgia, and I still can't figure out why Georgia is a battleground state. You're in the South. Why are you not landsliding for Trump is beyond me. Got a total limp dick governor, Brian Kemp there. Trump by 1%, but nonetheless, he's still up. It's crazy. It's crazy. And these guys are freaking out, and I love it. I love to see these leftists, these Hollywood types, freaking out. But this guy, you want to talk about thin-skinned? This guy was running scared and freaking out over Aaron Rodgers making a joke about Kimmel and the Epstein list. I mean, he tried to get Aaron Rodgers run off the Pat McAfee show. Unbelievable. Curdog. Complete. I love these meltdowns. I love these meltdowns from these people. That Trump infuriates them this much. Truly. It's glorious. But it is funny how, number one, if we were not in the age of Trump where like ABC and Disney, obviously they can't stand Trump or any of his political ideals and his ideology and putting America first, list goes on. They obviously can't stand Trump because at no other time would you ever see a network allow a late-night host that lost 60% of his ratings, and that goes for some of these other ones too, to continue to have a job and pay him a shit ton and stay on the air. They would have fired his ass. But nope, because he lost Trump supporters, they're going to keep him on. We can keep not watching too. No problem. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.